Hey friends, Barkey J Dog here, back with another movie review. 80's chicks. They just seem to know how to be hot and sexy, didn't they? Now, there have been lots of hot and sexy chicks in the movies going all the way back to the 1920s, like Louise Brooks, right? All the way up until the 2000s. Whereas today, chicks seem to have forgotten how to be sexy. Am I right? There's still a few running around, but not so many. But 80's chicks? They were on a whole nother level of hot and sexy. And in this one, I have an 80's movie for you, all about fashion models. So they're bound to be hot and sexy, right? This time we're talking about Covergirl from 1984, not to be confused with this movie from 1944, starring Rita Hayworth, Gene Kelly, and Eve Arden, among others. No, our movie is not a remake of that one either. Does this movie live up to the hot and sexiness of 80's chicks? Well, let's find out. Our story goes like this. Kit is a fashion model. She doesn't get the best assignments from the agency she works for, but she keeps to a straight and narrow path rather than sleep her way to the top. Things aren't always as rosy in the fashion world as they may appear in front of the lens. No, one of Kit's friends, Dee, turns tricks. She's a high-priced dial-a-chick. Another girl slowly descends to self-destruction because of a love affair gone bad. Another model is into dope, and sleazy types and other parasites abound in the industry. Well, one day, Kit meets this dopey business dude, T.C. Sloan. They literally run into each other. At first, these two are like oil and water, but somewhere along the line, they keep getting thrown together, and Sloan realizes Kit has potential, and he sets out to make her a star. She also gives up the goods to him fairly easily. He cooks up a merger with her agency, which has been having a hard time of it lately. See, there's a rival agency wooing all of their top chicks away. So the agency has no choice but to grab the lifeline Sloan offers. Now Kit is under Sloan's wing, and while he works to make her star, the two proceed to fall in love, in spite of everything. But Sloan is not a good businessman. His lawyer turns traitor and tricks him by giving shares to the agency owners, which he leverages to get Sloan kicked out of his own company. Can Kit and her fellow models help Sloan to win back his company and save the day? And what of love? In our cast, the biggest name brand is, of course, Jeff Conaway from Taxi and Babylon 5. His character here is pretty annoying, if I'm honest, and kinda dumb for a rich business dude. He's not a villain, but not particularly likable either. He's basically playing a version of Bobby, his character from Taxi. Irena Ferris is our heroine Kit. She didn't have a lot of screen time in her career, unfortunately, usually playing a fashion model in one-off TV appearances and the occasional movie, mostly as an extra or someone in the background. She pops up in Bring 'Em Back Alive! Remember that show with Bruce Boxleitner? She also appears in Looker, Overboard, and several episodes of Cover Up. Then she switched to doing charity work, helping kids get medical treatment. Good for her. Roberta Layton plays the high-priced dial-a-chick, Dee. She was in Stripes and went on to appear in some soap operas, having fairly long runs on Days of Our Lives and The Young and the Restless. Kenneth Welsh plays the crooked lawyer. He's been in tons of stuff, but I remember him best from Twin Peaks. He played the baddie Wyndham Earl in the second season. Things didn't work out so well for him when he met Killer Bob in the Black Lodge. Tessa, the steady chick here, was played by Kathy Sheriff. She was in All That Jazz and Old Dracula, which I reviewed for Halloween. But you may know her best from her turn in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, where she plays Valkyrie. the wife of the Klingon Kruge. Like he kills her because she learned about the Genesis device, and then he just instantly turns around and tells his whole crew all about Genesis. What the hell, dude? William Hutt plays this guy, Alton Cockridge. He was one of my favorite characters. He plays a fashion designer, so he's super flamboyant, right? But it turns out he's a closet heterosexual. He just pretends to be lavender because he designs fashion, and it's expected a designer would be gay. That's how he got ahead in the industry, so he keeps his real orientation a secret. It's almost prescient of today's world, isn't it? Ugh. And Paulina Porizkova is here somewhere. She's one of the models in the background. This was her film debut. We last saw her in Her Alibi, a movie I reviewed elsewhere on the channel. So, how about it? Is this thing any good? Well, no, not really. The problem with Covergirl is that it just doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it a drama? Is it a romance movie? Is it a comedy? Romantic comedy? The movie just doesn't seem to know, and so neither do we. Like, you have one chick here who self-deletes because she's sad. Another turns tricks, not because she needs the money so much, but because she's bored. Another is taking dope. And one guy tries to have surprise sexy times with our heroine. So, is this a drama? A serious look at the world of high-class fashion models and the struggles they go through to get to the top? Seems like it would be. But then you have goofy scenes like this, where everyone is playing around in a bubble bath on overload, which reminded me of either that one episode of The Brady Bunch, where the kids used too much laundry soap, or that episode of Space 1999, where Moonbase Alpha was attacked by a space brain which used a crushing foam on the crew. Or you have this dopey comedic robot with skills far above the pay grade of a robot in 1984. And when the bad guys take over, they give him devil horns. And going on throughout is this romance thing where the rich guy is trying to win over Kit as a business investment, and the two wind up falling in love. It's like, pick one, movie, drama, comedy, or romance, because any of these would work by themselves and give us a more interesting story. But mashed together, like in Covergirl, it just doesn't fly. It's pretty gear grinding, and that's not the kind of grinding I'm interested in. Now, this is an 80's movie about sexy chicks, so you do expect to see some naked nudity. And we do get a glimpse or two of these models minus their tops, but there aren't nearly enough shots of their chestly protuberances freed from captivity, if you ask me. Of course, I'd say that anyway. Oh, God. If you're interested, you do get a quick flash of Jeff Conaway's dangly bits as he gets out of bed in one scene. I had to see it, so you do too. Oh my God, it is horribly deformed, isn't it? Oh, where's he been with that? Oh, it looks pretty painful. I hope he gets some penicillin for that. Oh. Covergirl was made in Canada in 1981. Then it sat on the shelf until it was finally released in 1984. That's never a good sign for a movie. It says that the studio had no faith in it, and distributors had no interest. The tagline for this movie reads, "They are the world's top fashion models. During the day, they create fantasies. At night, they live them." But sadly, Covergirl has precious little fantasy at any time of day. So, all in all, in spite of having those hot and sexy 80's chicks, in good conscience, I can only give Covergirl 1.5 paws up. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, and it does have 80's chicks and a few fun moments, but it just wasn't that good. These chicks deserved better, and so do we. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.